Alright guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I taught Clay the cover your eyes trick, also known as the be ashamed or be shy trick, which is essentially him taking his paw and covering it over his nose and holding it for a few seconds. So let's get started. So the first step to this trick is going to actually get your dog to touch their paw to their nose. You can do this by either placing a piece of tape on their nose, using a rubber band, gently blowing in their face. If none of these options are working, then you can first teach your dog to target or touch something with their paw, like a post-it note or a piece of paper, and then eventually move that to their nose. For Clay, I used a piece of tape, so that's what I'm going to be using in this demonstration. Now, when I place the piece of tape on Clay's nose, he's going to take his paw and try to wipe that piece of tape off. The minute that he touches his paw to his nose, I want to mark that behavior, either using a verbal marker like yes or good or a clicker, and then I want to make sure to take that piece of tape off right away. If I leave that piece of tape on his nose, he's going to continue to wipe at his nose, and now he's not going to be paying attention to what I'm marking or rewarding for.
Yes, good job. Yes, good boy.
Once your dog is consistently wiping their nose or trying to get that piece of tape off, then you want to start to fade the object that you use. So you can either use light pressure on their nose from your finger, or if that's not working, you can still take that piece of tape and lightly press it on their nose and then pull it away right away. The goal is to get your dog to start wiping their nose without having that object on their face.
Yes. Yes.
Now the next step is going to be actually adding in duration of them keeping their paw on their nose. At this point your dog is probably doing a wiping motion, and our ultimate goal is getting our dog to use our paw and hold it over their nose for a few seconds. Now to do this, I did a couple things with Clay. When I first started doing this trick, I had him in a down position, and that can be a bit tricky for him to actually hold his paw over his nose. So I switched him into a sit position. The other thing that I switched to was using a clicker. I found that using a verbal marker, I wasn't able to mark that exact behavior fast enough. So by using a clicker, the minute he touched his paw to his nose, I was able to make that click noise and get him to understand that I was rewarding him for actually putting his paw onto his nose. So now what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to add in that pressure again, but now we want to make sure to mark that exact behavior of them putting their paw on their nose. Once you're doing that for a couple tries, then you can hold off on marking that behavior to see, does your dog offer a longer duration. The second your dog offers even just a brief second longer than they had previously, make sure to heavily reward that moment.
Good job. Very nice.
Once your dog is actually able to hold their paw over their nose for a few seconds, now you want to start to fade the lure while adding in whatever phrase you want to add. You can tell them to cover their eyes, you can tell them to be shy, be ashamed, whatever phrase you want. At this point, you're going to start to add it and then slowly fade that hand lure.
What did you do? What did you do there?
And then eventually you should be able to completely fade that hand lure and get your dog to offer that behavior with just your phrase, which is an awesome, cute party trick, one that everybody will love.
What did you do?